I think I got it right, right? And then there's this button over here, isn't it? And then the thing happens and hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It is so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today, what day is today? Today is January 25th, 2024. We're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? We are broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. There's DGen1 over there on the YouTube. Hello, hello. It's good to see you. I have to confess, I had to loan out my keyboard that I was using for the ARM device, so we're not going to be programming on ARM today. We're going to be working just on the PC, but we haven't done anything that's ARM specific. So I'm kind of okay with that. And going through and working on this conversion that we've been working on for Tags app from Razor Pages to Blazor. We made huge progress on Tuesday, and we're going to blast through and get a whole lot more done. Go ahead, take a look. See.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
See that? It's not that one. No, it's the Loki hat, darn it. You know this hat. Come on now. No? No. Really? Like, that was lower than 50%. Come on now. Hat not found. I know you know what this is. I know you know the Loki hat.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Wow. All right. That's just really bad. Hey, Jeremy.
Jeremy Knight _me just resubscribed for 49 months. Keep up the great content.
Pair programming? How you doing there, Blazor, Mr. Magoo? High-tech redneck is here. Let me scroll back up to the top here and catch up. LeBlancs, hello. Dr. Cox, good morning to you. Chris Jones, good afternoon. How's it going there? UNESCO is here. Warm Peas, hello, hello. Let me see. So we said hello, Jeremy Knight, and I'll make another donation to the American Cancer Society. Trolled by mom. Not my mom. My mom doesn't troll. She's a nice lady who stops in and says hello to everybody and spreads emotes for fun. Yeah. 2 pairs. Yes, I see what you did there with the image creator, Blazor, Mr. Magoo. Napalm, hello, hello. Good to see you. Thank you so much for the Prime sub, Trolled by Mom. And I'll make another donation to the American Cancer Society. May all my errors be warnings. Okay, that's very polite. That's very kind. Thank you. So I want to dive in. I want to really push on some of this content and get it moving along. You have I did not see a pull request. Xbox. Hang on. Let me head here. Open up the project. I did not. I didn't see an email notification. M. Pulaski with 5 gifted subs.
Just gifted 5 subs.
Oh my goodness. Hello, hello. Thank you so much. 5 gifted subs into the channel. I'll make 5 donations to the American Cancer Society. Congratulations to Perry at Digital Ox, Bald Bearded Builder, Frank, Rambling Geek, and Pac-Man Jr. You just got gift subscriptions from our friend M. Pulaski. Thank you so much for those gift subscriptions. The hype train is close. Why didn't I absolutely should have seen an email notification, and I don't see a pull request. No. Where should I see a pull request? I'm just looking back at my notifications here. No. Yeah, help me out. Where should I be seeing a pull request there? On my Tags app repository. Okay. Generic provider configuration instead of reflection. Let's head over to that. Take a look-see. Let's head over to that, and I'll get some music playing in the background here because I do work a little bit better with music running. Let's start here. This is called Happy Feet. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Use it wherever you'd like. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for putting this music together that we're listening to today.
Great stuff. Very inspirational.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And we unlocked a hype train. Thank you very much. Level 2 hype train. As we're going to go through and talk about pull requests and writing some code together. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Jed. Sipping a coffee, lots of pointless meetings today. Have to have the music, says Jeremy. Agreed. What do we got here? In the Twitch config, passing in provider configuration. And getting configuration. Okay. And you set up a generic you set up a generic provider object. And what does... Oh, I see what you did here. So you put together, instead of doing this reflection to go find the user interface, you put together a class, a component. Where's the rest of the component? Here in the Razor, so type param coming in, okay. And you're doing basically, we're going to do a switch here. Well, wait a sec, hang on. I'm trying to understand what you got here. Surviving your first COVID? Oh, it is a bout, M. Pulaski. It really is. Let me see here. So I'm trying to understand what you did here. So you put a type parameter of a provider being passed in, and you're requiring that type being passed in to be a social media provider. So Twitch chat, YouTube chat, so on and so forth. Twitter, Mastodon. So pass that in. If provider configuration is null, so we're going to do on after render, we're going to go get it. I see what you're doing here. I like the direction that you're going. But you're doing this cast here. And as we get more providers into the mix, this cast, let me zoom in there a little bit more. This cast is going to be repeated again and again and again. Right? So what if... I like where you're going with this. I do. I got it. Okay, I got it. We can do, you're casting and saying, if it is of this provider type, fire up this component. I think we can just do this with an is. If the T provider is Twitch chat provider. Here's the component to run. And then we can do this actually with some pattern matching in a switch expression. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to accept this. And I'm going to build on it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Xbox. Yes, confirm that merge, and we'll work on this a little bit more locally, and we'll talk about this. Thank you so much for the hype train. We got to level 2. 80% complete on level 2. I really appreciate that. And of course, I donate all of our cheers, chat, subscriptions to the American Cancer Society. I want to ask a couple questions before I go too much further on this, because we're going to dig into this, but I want to go back and talk about just a couple things about streaming and other things that are going on. Where'd it go? On YouTube, C# Titan loves the C# in the cards content. Thank you. I was expecting to get at least the next episode recorded yesterday. Yesterday just killed me. I literally got wrapped up in a half dozen things, none of which were coding, and literally got nothing done on my computer at all yesterday. It was, for somebody who's a software developer, it was awful. But it was stuff that needed to get done. So, and here's the thing, I don't have time to record today either. Like, I get done the stream here today. I've got a couple phone calls that I need to make. I've got a handful of meetings. I have to visit a family member who is fighting cancer. It literally is going for cancer treatment right now. And she's totally in my thoughts. And then after that, it's 7, 8 o'clock at night. We're done. Like, so we'll see. I really wanted to get 2 more episodes out this week, but I don't think I'm going to get 1 more episode out. So, kicked your butt. 5 days in the hospital. Oh my gosh. 5 days in the hospital with COVID. That is rough. M. Pulowski, so glad that you're on the mend and on the up and up from that. That is hard. I hope you're doing better. Please keep us in the loop as much as you want to. I've mentioned before, particularly back in July. It means a lot to see your names here, even just to pop in and say, "Hey, how's it going?" It always does. And I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having, gosh, M. Pulaski, I hope you and your family are on the mend and on the up and up there. High Tech Redneck says exactly where their brain went. Okay, yeah. Napalm asking, have I done much with OTEL? No, but that's on my list, because when we get TagZap into Aspire, I want to open telemetry this thing to the 9s. Like, I want to spend a lot of time learning about open telemetry, because I think TagZap plays into the open telemetry story very, very well, because we have all these various services that, please tell me it finds that it's Loki. Did it?
And knowing is half the battle.
No, that's not the right hat either. We really need to do something about this. This is the Loki presidential election hat. The open telemetry giving us statistics on how each one of our social media providers are working, and Grafana throwing log information out there, collecting log information, Prometheus exposing it, and us being able to examine that coming from those social media providers is going to be massive. There is so many possibilities that we can do with that to learn more about those technologies as we build features for TagZap. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Model binding is not working there. Let's talk about that. There's a Blazor gimmick or two there that we're going to run face first into. Replace reflections with generic. You're right, Xbox. You are totally right, and I was not thinking about it. So I appreciate you resetting here. And hey, we're over-engineering something. Thank you. Got to spend hour and a half on High-Tech Redneck's own code, the rest of it working with others, being their rubber ducky. Yeah, sometimes that does help. Glad to hear you're coming back, M. Pulaski. That is very good to hear. You can help out with that, learning a lot. Good, Napalm. That I'd really appreciate that. Hey, Thin Doll. Hello. No, the no taste and no smell stuff is not fun. I know I had COVID once. I suspect there was a second time that I had it, but I never tested positive, but I suspect I had it. I don't know. Yeah, losing taste is super weird. So, no, so there's a thing called the Streamer Awards that folks were really excited about and promoting, and I know I don't rate. Some of these people have thousands of concurrent viewers, hundreds of thousands of followers. I am nowhere near that level of notoriety that these folks have. When I saw the nominees, I had some suspicions because only one of them actually streams in the science and technology category. So in the science and technology category, there are 3 VTubers and Pirate Software. And the 3 VTubers all code no, didn't make it. They all code their personality occasionally on stream, but never, literally never in the science and technology category. One or two of them haven't streamed in the science and technology category in years, but are going to win best streamer in science and technology. Pirate Software has broken records for the number of subscriptions and cheers and hype train. More power to Thor. He's doing a fantastic job, literally streaming 6, 7, 8 hours a day, every day. I know Thor. I've swapped messages with Thor in the past. Really nice guy. If I had time to edit shorts, and I had somebody yesterday saying to me, "Hey, there's a couple of really good shorts in your content we should cut out there." His short videos are very good. And there's stuff that I've done that if I cut properly, I would definitely land well, but it's not something that I'm terribly focused on, and I probably should be at some point to try and push and promote the stream more. But what I am running into is I thought of myself as a in-person presenter, teacher a lot. That's how I broke into this space, was teaching and speaking at various local, regional things. I'm never asked by my employer to speak anywhere. They don't assign me to go speak anywhere. Right, I get folks who need help running an event that call me in and say, "Hey, can you help us organize and plan this?" And we'll give you a speaking slot. Like, they throw me a bone. "Hey, can you help us organize this and we'll let you speak." I think I'm closing in on it's time to retire as a speaker. Quite frankly, traveling hundreds, thousands of miles to speak to an audience of 50, 100 people in a room, when I have a couple thousand people that watch these live streams each week, and if I pushed and leaned into them, I could, like I said, promote and get more folks watching. And certainly the C# and the Cards series is starting to find new folks. Oh my gosh, you tried spicy food, you couldn't taste it. Oof. the yeah, I'm thinking I'm more and more ready to accept that it's time to retire from public speaking. It just isn't. It isn't a thing that that I have an audience that's looking for me. So yeah, I think this might be the end of the road on that. So, I don't know. I'm going to talk it through with a couple of folks, but it's between podcasting and this type of interaction. If I promote and push more on getting the word out there on my type of content, I think I'm going to I'll get more viewership, but it's feeling more and more like a waste of my time to travel and speak. So, all right, enough of me about that. Let me head over. Let's take a look at this generic provider and dive into it a little bit. So Xbox sent over this code that created a generic provider, and this is built around some of the configuration capabilities that we're trying to do for Tags app. Yeah, there I was working on the C# in the cards website. So I actually need to pull in the latest over here. Yeah, look at that. Let me run a git status. So I have these extra Blazor apps over here. So a little bit of what I'm seeing as I've been working with preparing and writing more Blazor content is there's state and objects that are being passed around that just don't make it when you cross rendering boundaries. Am I still going to do virtual sessions? Absolutely. Yes. Like, I've built a studio here for doing this. Like, I've invested a lot of my money, not my employer's, my money, to build this home studio so that I can sound good. I've commissioned the art that you see here on stream, all of the emotes that you see. I've commissioned all of those. That's not Microsoft. So this is building out, and everything on my YouTube channel is mine. I wrote all that content. Yeah, zero profit, but I do it as it. Right, I do the live streaming while I'm being paid to live stream. It's something where if I invest my time a little bit more diligently, it'll viewership will go up significantly, and I do enjoy it. I very much do. Even if there was nobody here watching, I'd still be doing this. Let me get Visual Studio open. I applied the latest update. So, what is it? 17. I forget what number we're on. I'm on like a preview 4 of whatever the current preview is. That didn't size right. There we go. So I don't know exactly what they patched. 17.9 preview 4 is the version of Visual Studio that I'm on. So, but yeah, virtual sessions and remote sessions into various user groups. Sure, absolutely do that. But traveling and going to speak somewhere is becoming. It's becoming just a pain in the neck. Something that I try to plan for and schedule, and quite frankly, my family hates it when I travel. Hate's not strong enough a word. And traveling to speak, while sometimes it makes me happy, dear Lord, it's not worth it. it no it no longer is worth it, and quite frankly, my employer doesn't want me to speak. So, yeah, you want to take some of the traveling gigs? Go for it. I need an AI version of myself that travels for me. No. Traveling to speak at events is, while it's something that I think is fun, my employer and my family find zero value in it. So, like, and that's okay. Because quite frankly, I reach a heck of a lot more folks when they want to listen, when they want to pay attention, and when they want to talk to me. And quite frankly, building something like TagZap is going to give more interaction with you than if I was at an event. That's the thing. What do I think of Angular and .NET? It's a nice combination. A lot of folks have been doing that for some time now. Gosh, 7-8 years people have been doing Angular and .NET. Angular with ASP.NET Core is really good. If you're into Angular, Angular with ASP.NET Core is really good. Taking your Angular app, and now that you can put it into a Blazor hybrid application without any Blazor, and you could just host your Angular application as a native application on Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android, is a fantastic combination. So, yeah, we've been reevaluating the various ways that we generate content and deliver, and quite frankly, for the cost, the stress, and quite frankly, the zero value that my employer finds in me speaking, in person, I'm thinking that I should retire from public speaking, in person speaking, let's say, in 2024. I'm thinking, we'll see, but like, perfect example. In the past few years, there have been a number of significant developer events in New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C. All of these locations are like a 2-hour drive for me. Literally zero cost to travel. And I'm not asked to help out, participate, or in any way assist. Like, okay. No, the ClipTalk extension did not use React. No. So, let me see here. You're learning Vulkan and trying to integrate with C# apps. It's the most challenging project. That's right. Stepping out and crossing communities, tech stacks, is always something tricky and difficult. Company asked if it might be possible to get you to move their business app to Blazor United. Then I'm going to ask if I can add a machine learning tool from Python. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Yeah, zero value is harsh. Does that mean I won't attend build? Well, why? I don't attend build anyway. Like, they don't want me to speak at build. I was at build to be a concierge this past year. Like, bring in an intern from University of Washington. You don't. There is no reason to bring high price Fritz in from the East Coast to do that. Like, the amount of money that it costs to bring me in and do that versus having me sit here in my studio presenting and delivering content that augments the build experience is stupidity and a waste of time, when, quite frankly, I can be augmenting the experience over live video from here. What are the best channels, websites to learn C++? Don't know. Sorry. Don't know what to tell you. I'm not a C++ person. It'll be nice saying hi. Totally, it'll be nice saying hi. Look, I have no problem with traveling in general, but public speaking is something that my employer does not find value in me doing anymore. You have to know when you're. Yeah, I agree, President. Not sure. Yeah, virtual talk, all of the talk, and none of the travel. Right, exactly, Junie. Yeah. Here's the thing. Okay, let's get right down to brass tacks with this. Okay, I'm going to go back over to the welcome screen because this is an important thing right here that Junie said. All of the talk and none of the travel. Here's the thing. When I was giving the original C# with C# Fritz series, when I started that on YouTube and Twitch, okay, each episode of that series had more viewership than I would be able to address at a large in-person event like Build or Ignite. Each episode of that. And it cost me nothing to produce. So if I'm not asked, if I'm not assigned to do that, but I get more people who are interested in me delivering that content, why should I waste my time and focus on those things that people aren't interested in, and instead focus my direction on places where folks do want to learn and are interested in listening to this guy. So it's that thing. Will I attend .NET Conf? Are you kidding, Thin Doll? I run that thing. So not just will I be attending .NET Conf, I'm going to be running that thing, and there's a lot more we want to do with that, and I'm going to be quarterbacking a bit of it from here, from the East Coast. Oh, wait till you see what I pull off this time. C# Titan asks, is it bad to return default from a method? No, not bad at all. Be aware, though, that returning default could be null. Be aware. In a parallel universe, we're all set up to watching C++ Fritz. Chris Jones, you might be onto something. Is it rare that a developer is actually good at public speaking? Yes, it is. If I could find a way to make it work, it could be good. I've been able to make it work for 10 plus years. I'm older. A little bit more seasoned. It's a question of the return on investment. It costs a lot of money to travel, and it's not something that I'm encouraged to do by my employer. Quite frankly, it's yeah. And like I said, my family despises when I travel. I'm traveling in exactly 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, I'll be in Stockholm. Oh my Lord, you have no idea the amount of nonsense and garbage and stress and pressure that I've taken from my family on this. Like, it's one thing to be traveling domestically, but as soon as I leave the country, it's like, no, can't be doing that. You forget it. And if it's not Europe, oh my gosh. Oh my. I might as well be kidnapping babies or something. It is. No. Planning any kind of meetups. One of the better things about conferences is meeting speakers. Meetups. What do you mean by meetups? Is meeting speakers like me, Nick Chapsis, Maddie, potentially being able to pick brains. I've been talking about and thinking about doing office hours on the Discord, that kind of thing. Just doing open AMA, like literally going in, not having an agenda at all. Have folks submit a couple questions, some code samples to look at, and just AMA for like an hour or two. I've totally been planning, thinking about that kind of thing. But once again, I'm going to come back around to, I have a vision to reinvent the virtual event. And the way that we deliver virtual events today is TV with a chat room. That's not what I want from a virtual event. And I have a vision for what we're going to do with that. And TagZap is just the first part of that. Things gets at the core a lot of in-person remote work. Why go to an office when everyone on my team is in another part of the country? Right. There's no reason, none, zero, to travel. So, yep, makes no difference where I am. Hey, quite frankly, you want to send me to travel somewhere? Let's go to the Caribbean. It's actually cheaper for me to go and stay in the Dominican Republic. Oh my gosh. Than to go to Seattle.
Just resubscribed for 61 months.
Woohoo!
Okay, so,
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'm gonna trauma dump because I am me.
You did what? What did I miss? Holy crap. Microsoft laying off 1,900 Activision Blizzard and Xbox employees. Blizzard president leaves the company. Blizzard chief design officer leaves the company. Blizzard's previously announced survival game canceled. Holy crap. Do we have an email? Oh, dude, that is such crap. Sorry, no, you don't get to do that. 8% of the overall Microsoft gaming division. Jeez. Okay, there was an internal memo. Committed to aligning on the strategy, execution plan. We've set priorities, identified areas of overlap. Okay. So these are overlap places that folks are being let go. But leadership being dropped, especially folks who are ahead of design. Squirrel. Okay. Like, one of the keys around Blizzard is their design. Like, that's what makes it unique. Okay. Yeah, it'd be nice to see a little bit of a message about that. I'm so sorry to hear that. More streams for us? Yes, that exactly, Dr. Cox. Oh, I gotta change the emotes back. Hey, Greenish Pepper, so will they use my fan base following to do more content? Who? Well, who used that? I'm sorry, Greenish Pepper, I need more context. Quick tip. When you type messages in chat, whether it's YouTube or Twitch, do me a favor and avoid using pronouns. Like, help me out with some context there, because your message is in a big stream and I want to make sure that I address and read and catch up the stuff. You wish your employer had enough extra money to send you to it's all online. It's free, Bitwise. It's free. But absolutely, Fierce Kittens, you can be fussy, for sure. A meet and greet, doing meet and greets. So, I would have been up for a meet and greet when I was in Atlanta in December. I would have totally been up for a meet and greet when I was in Atlanta. I would totally be up for a meet and greet when I'm in Seattle for .NET Conf. Absolutely would be. Would I set up occasional meet and greets in the Philadelphia region, New Jersey, Maryland? Yeah, why not? I could definitely do something like that. Yes, this is Dr. Cox. We're gonna pull that apart, and there's some really cool stuff that we're gonna do in there. VR virtual event. That's interesting. Mocktails, sure. Fierce Kittens. Do I have? I think I have it. I think if you do, you want to jump on a guest star stream real quick to talk. I think I have you on my guest star list. I don't even know how to do this. Where'd it go? Like, I haven't tried it yet. Is it streaming tools and then guest star or something like that? Or stream together? Like, I have streamed together. It's not that one. No. I don't know where this is. Is it like stream manager and then... You don't mind being on voice? Yeah, I can dial you in then on just Discord. And we can talk about those types of things. And then we'll dive in and do some code. Yeah. So let's talk about this. I think, do I have my Discord overlay in here? No, I don't. Here we go. Right, can you hear that? I think you can. Hello! Oh no, I know what this is. Shoot. Hang on. 1 second, I did this wrong. I know what the problem is. Yeah, be right back. So I have my Discord and things set up a little bit strange. There we go. I think I got you now.
There, yeah,
Okay.
loud and clear.
So I have Discord actually on a different machine, and the way my audio is wired back together is weird. So
Yeah, no, got it.
So yeah, Microsoft lays off 2,000 folks from Xbox, from Blizzard. These kinds of things happen after acquisitions, right? Because they dedupe people, which sounds weird.
Yeah, but not 1900.
How many people were in Activision? How many employees?
Heck, if I know, I don't keep track of it. But it just, I just hate finding out this stuff from social media.
Yes, I agree with you on that one. And working for a large company like this, like, does suck to hear it from the press. The number of things that I hear from the press, like, I hear product announcements from my own division from the press before I hear it internally. Like, what? Copilot I learned about from the press before I saw it internally. I'm like, what? Activision had 9,200 employees in 2019. So I don't know if that includes all of the studio subsidiaries.
All I can say is, as a recovering game developer,
yeah,
it's very scary right now to see everything that's going down.
Riot lost how many folks 2 weeks ago? So yeah, there's so Blizzard lost folks, Riot lost folks, Amazon laid off a bunch of folks also right at the end of the year. Google laid off a bunch of folks. Yeah, there's a bit of that going around.
Mm-hmm.
For what I do, where I am, I mean, I feel safe. I feel secure. I know you're in a different part of the company, and there's different
I am,
things.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I think that this sounds like it was that dedupe type of situation. We don't need 2 legal departments. We don't need 2 accounting departments, so on and so forth. 2 HR departments. No, that's a bad example with Activision after what they went through. But those types of things, but always get deduped. Oh, the finance departments, right? Those can roll up and are a little bit easier when you start integrating services. You find those, duplication. So, I mean, I've been through a bunch of
The
these.
thing
But
is, in gaming, the duplication is
Yeah.
necessary because you work so many long hours, and
oh, I'm not talking about
it's
engineers being. I don't think many engineers were lost in that. It sounds like
ah,
it sounds like from that memo that was posted that they're folks of duplicate responsibility.
that could be engineering. I
Um,
mean, I've been known for getting stuck in Highlander positions where there can be only one. You can only have one tools engineer, one online engineer, et cetera, et cetera. And it sucks being that one person because you can never take a vacation.
yes.
When I worked at Mythic, and just a content warning for people, this involves a pregnancy loss.
Yeah.
When I was at Mythic, I was the only engineer that was assigned to work on a huge feature for Warhammer. And I suffered a loss at work and had to go into emergency surgery because my body wasn't doing it itself.
Yeah.
And all I told my manager was that I was having a medical emergency. But then upper management was freaking out, yelling at her and demanding that she say why I was out because this one feature needed to get done and no one else could do it. And that's typical.
That's that type of interaction is definitely something that shouldn't happen in our industry. Separate from a little bit of what we're talking about with the layoff. Yes, you're right about those folks where, we're only going to have one person in this role. Totally understand that. And when you do consolidate, you know what? Maybe they set a goal and said we're gonna take all the Activision Blizzard games, and instead of having the 2 or 3 different launchers that they have to launch and run all the games, I mean, they've already consolidated a bunch of stuff into the Blizzard game launcher. We're going to move them into the Xbox app instead, and now we don't need to manage that application. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense and makes it a little bit easier to manage, and I get it. But aren't there other places that we can reallocate and move stuff around in those resources?
Yeah. Get rid of the upper fat. Get rid of the absolutely useless people who've been floating at the very top in leadership, and they're the ones making the decisions that are leading to all these people in lower roles getting laid off.
Yeah.
Axe them.
So do the senior management folks add significant value to a product when you're merging? There's one side that says even if they don't, you need somebody to at least handle, manage, and bring that value back to the larger organization. does it need to still be that same senior manager? And this is where, for those of you who aren't familiar with the Microsoft org chart, there are layers upon layers upon layers upon layers. Like the the Microsoft org chart is like a 12-layer cake. Like the distance between the average rank and file individual contributor and Satya Nadella, the CEO, that everybody reports up into eventually is right. It is amazing the depth of them. But when you think about managers each needing to manage anywhere between 5 and 12 people, it necessitates creating some layers because a manager just can't manage 20 people, 25 people. Scott Guthrie right now has 20 some people that report to him, but among those people are like his assistant, his chief of staff, people who, quite frankly, the other way around, manage him, right? Like your chief of staff, your technical your technical analyst, these folks who are part of that inner circle that advise and help him figure out and set direction, versus those folks that he actually needs to manage that are themselves vice presidents. So it's an interesting management hierarchy that you run into when you get into, right, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of employees. Like, how do you manage all of that? Because it's absolutely insane. Each one of the divisions is themselves their own company. I agree with you. There are ways to shuffle and move folks. But when you already have somebody who's being overpaid to be a senior vice president of something, yeah. Can we move you along and push somebody into your space and save a bit of money? Totally agree.
Yeah.
But some of that attrition takes a little bit longer, just because they've got stock, golden parachutes attached, so on and so forth. And if you cut them sooner than later, you end up owing more. There's all kinds of challenges there. We're talking on Discord with our friend Fierce Kittens. You know Fierce Kittens. You've seen her. There she is in chat on Twitch. You can also find her on YouTube with all kinds of tutorials for folks that are interested in doing things with laser cutters, with 3D printers, sewing, making, crafting. My gosh.
It's like my ADHD haven, honestly. Yeah, it doesn't have code. Yeah.
So
yeah, for those who don't know who I am, Fritz gave a really good intro, but just for context, we're talking about the announcement of 1,900 people being let go from Activision, Blizzard, Xbox, and ZeniMax this morning, and we just found out. And I've been in the industry for over 20 years.
Yeah.
Right, I work at Microsoft, but not in Xbox and not directly on a product. So I'm more of an architect. If they call me, you've screwed up. That's kind of how I boil my job down.
They drop folks from ZeniMax as well?
They just, set across gaming, and the article says that. I don't know who's impacted, nor am I going to go digging. That's inappropriate.
Yeah. And so we did hear about a new Indiana Jones game from the folks at Bethesda. Was it last week? Early this week?
No, they announced Indiana.
Yeah.
They announced some games. Who knows? Yeah.
No, that's not
Greenish.
No.
That's the
No.
Activision Blizzard merger didn't really go through until the end of December last year. So only a few weeks ago. So they weren't necessarily following the unlimited PTO stuff.
Those types of things I don't think will take effect and the rest of the Microsoft benefits until July when the fiscal year turns over. So I get it. Because we're on a public forum here, we need to make sure that we're clear about what is satirical and we are talking about a public company and what is truthful, and we need to be Fierce Kittens and I know that when we do talk about things about work, because it's a public company and we are seen as a little bit of a spokesperson for the company, there's things that we can't conjecture on, that we just can't say, oh, well, I believe this, or the company is doing that. There are things that are outside of our sphere of influence that we just can't talk about. We're disappointed to hear this, and we're hoping those folks find new gigs. Gosh, FK, didn't we hear that Mike Morheim and some of the other original Blizzard folks have restarted a new company, and they're building and working towards new games that they want to build? Yeah. So there's studios out there that are springing up out of this that maybe some of these folks can catch on to. I don't know. It's always terrible to hear this, and your heart goes out to these folks. But yes, Blizzard is under Microsoft. So Activision, Blizzard, so Call of Duty, Diablo, Overwatch. I've gotten so into Overwatch recently. Oh my gosh. Somebody recognized me in an Overwatch game the other day. That was weird. But all of those games are now managed by Microsoft. Look at that, Fairy Wings is here. Hello.
Just resubscribed for 63 months. Sneaks in BO.
Oh, I do this in her stream. I see what you did there. Okay. I get it.
Sneaks away.
Yeah, that's right. You wonder how Thor is taking the news? Yeah, Thor is former Pirate Software is former Blizzard. So we thank you so much for the sub. I'll make another donation to American Cancer Society. I felt like in the last 3 to 6 months, Blizzard was really turning a corner. Maybe a little bit of that is Bobby Kotick leaving. Kotick. But yeah, I bet Pirate Software streams later. He does like to chime in on current news. So he has some weird hours that he runs. For somebody on the West Coast, like when I get up in the morning and I see him streaming at 8 a.m. East Coast time, I'm like, wow. So Fierce Kittens, I mentioned earlier that I was looking at the Streamer Awards, and there were the 4 nominees for the Science and Technology category, or no, what is it? The Programming and Game Development category are Code Miko, Doug, I think the guy's name is, Vidal, and Pirate Software. Other than Pirate Software, the other 3 haven't streamed in the category in the last year. Fire of Legend, thank you for the follow. So folks are looking at that, and for the Streamer Awards, where they have this strict, well, you need to be in this category you need to stream in this category in order to qualify for the award. The organizer said, well, we're bending the rules a little bit to get some prominent folks and make this category a little more recognized this year. Like, okay, like we all know that folks don't stream in this category because there's more viewership in just chatting, and that's where they're streaming.
I only recognized Pirate Software and Code Miko.
Yeah. And Code Miko.
I mean, there were some other people whose names I don't want to say because they're super toxic streamers with extremely toxic communities.
Yes.
But I was like, I looked through the list of the creatives. I'm like, who the hell are these people?
Yeah.
Popularity contest.
It is a bit, and look, get the category recognized, get folks tuning in, get more folks watching this content, and we'll see where it goes. So, but I do want to get back into a little bit of the coding that I was doing here.
Yeah, go for it.
So I will catch you later. I'm sure we'll talk later today.
Yep.
So, all right, you have a good one. Thanks so much to our friend Fierce Kittens. There she goes. Great having a chat with her, and always, yeah, gosh, nice to be able to kind of pivot to news discussion there and talk about that real quick. So, all right, let me get the music playing again, and we're gonna jump over and dive into. We're gonna dive into talking about Blazor and a little bit of. This is actually a generic component that we're gonna build that handles the configuration for the various ways that you can interact with. TagZap. So. Diablo 4 is a great game. I agree, C# Titan. It is. I only have it on my Xbox. And I feel like that was a mistake, and I should get it on my PC. But I have been head over heels in Overwatch. And somebody recognized me. I don't know who it was. Somebody recognized me in Overwatch, and I feel like I should use my microphone more in Overwatch. It was really cool. I've been playing a lot of Reinhardt, a lot of tank recently, and it's been just so much fun. They say if you're in tech, always keep your resume and skill sharp. Totally agree. Totally agree, Sly Gamma. That said, though, if somebody were to interview me and ask, well, what do you do? Where can we learn more about what you've been coding? I'm not the person you want to be talking to. So, yeah, big thanks to our friend Fierce Kittens there for jumping on and having a little bit of a chat about the tech news over there at Activision Blizzard. So, I wasn't expecting to see that when I refreshed Twitter. Top message that pops up from our friend Maddie Montequilla, rebuilding a new PC. Like, good for her. That's really cool stuff. All right, let's dive into the code and let's talk about this generic provider in Blazor. So, Blazor's built up of components. And you can have components take a generic type. So what we've started doing here is putting together a configuration screen appropriate for configuring Twitch. How do we listen to Twitch? How do we get messages out of this? If you've watched, I'll go back to Fierce Kittens. If you've watched her work on GIFBot, if you've watched me work on the chatbot way back in the day, these are all fields that you need in order to connect and listen as an IRC client to Twitch chat. So, or to interact with their APIs. So you need a client ID, you need a client secret, a name for your chatbot, and then the token that you get for logging in as it. Fierce Kittens did a really neat thing where she lets you sign in, and it would capture all of your tokens and pass that along. Sign into Twitch, and there they all are. We could probably do something like that, but for now, just to get the values in here, I'm just, hey, key in your ID values. But I had this UI provider config that is a wrapper, a template component that has all of the accordion layout stuff necessary. Let me make sure. Do I have the Docker container running with the database? Open the Docker desktop. Is it running? Containers. Yeah, it's nope. It's sitting out there, but it wasn't started. Okay. So it's a container, and we're gonna drop whatever right there. How you doing there, Carlos? Welcome. So what was suggested from Xbox is, where's the component? Where did that component go? Generic provider right here. Was this generic provider component that would take in a type, and depending on which type was passed in, and using some sort of a dynamic, right? I was using a dynamic component over here. Well, instead of that, let's just put in a little generic component that will pivot and go find, well, here's the type of provider we're going to set up for this. What is anti-forgery token? Should we always use it? Asks C# Titan. The anti-forgery token is, where did I put it? I think it's over in here. Yeah. The anti-forgery token is a nonce. It's a token that's generated once. Doesn't have any significance to it, except it looks for that same value, that exact same value, to be passed in when this form is submitted. And it's only accepted once. So that way, nobody can replay a script, pick up that value, and pass it in and say, oh, well, I'm making these changes. I'm logging in and resubmitting a form with content. So it's not a perfect cross-site scripting defeat, but it's part of the story that we should all have. So this generic provider here, and this was really cool, that it receives a provider that is of type T provider, and there's a is it F7 that's going to take me behind it? There we go. That provider is of type I social media provider, right? So we're constraining it and saying it has to be a social media provider, and social media provider is the generic interface that we use to define all the various social media providers: Mastodon, Twitch chat, Twitter, YouTube live chat, so that it knows how to connect to those services, right? They're all defined by this interface. So by constraining and saying this is a provider configuration router for those configuration elements, what we can do is, instead of saying, let's set up a property and cast, right? When we say as here, take that provider object that was passed in and cast it to a Twitch provider, we don't need to do that because we never use Twitch chat provider. What we can do right here is we can say, well, that's interesting. That's an interesting way to do it that Copilot just suggested. And I'm okay with that, I think. I'm pretty okay with that. And the Twitch chat configuration UI takes in an iProvider configuration. I don't even need to cast it. Like, yeah. Right, so now I'm not... It's doing this pattern match here. Is it this type? Don't I lose with that approach the neat advantage of not altering this code when a new provider comes in? I was going to do it anyway because, well, I had all this generic code that I had to write. I just need to shell out and define these. So there was a ton of reflection in the application to go and identify and generically load providers and bootstrap them. The more and more we were looking at it, you need to bring in icons, configuration user interface. And there's going to be a couple more places where it's going to be really clear that there's additional features specific to certain providers that we need to code into the website specifically for those instead of trying to dynamically load. So I'll take that trade-off versus the reflection complexity that was being introduced. Would the null check on line 6 be redundant? Yeah, I think you're right. Now, why doesn't it like that? I put the I gotta put an ad up front. There we go. Yeah, I think we can get out of that. You're right, Evil Gordita. So if I run this now, let's go back over to here. Let's split this deal. And I'm going to leave that there so that I can do my source control on the bottom. And... uh-oh. I have a bad feeling about that. Yeah. Once 80100 and we have 80200. We're going to update that global JSON. Tell it that it can automatically move forward. So, global JSON, right? Come on. Gives us the definition of here's the SDK version that we're working with. But we can also allow it to roll forward. And I'm going to let it roll forward to the latest minor. Which now means it's okay rolling forward to the 80200. Let me see here. Am I using source generator? No. I could do this with source generators. You're right, Amal. I could. Dr. Cox says, and with the code now, I'll need to pass the provider configuration and not the provider. I am. That change was introduced. So if we go back in here, and if I log in, it should log me in with that. No, it won't. I don't know who Eric is. I don't think this is... Is it going to work? It did. Providers. That's because it is null at startup. Now, why didn't it... There was something that Xbox was saying about... I know what this is. I know what this is. Status change must be set after provider's configuration. Well, hang on. That should be down here. There it is. It feels weird to call state as change there. But, okay. Where's it getting the status? The health status. It's being passed in... So that's not being passed in the health. Not hard. Right? Because each provider does have health. Right, as a health. So I can go back over here. I need to actually get that value, so you gonna let me do that? No. Can we do this? You gonna give me that? No. Nothing? Nothing. Nice. That's cool, Napalm. Amazon's link image looks broken. Oh. Yeah, it does. Yep. All right. I'll take a look at updating that. Just pass the provider into it. Is the provider in the UI? And then I don't need to pass all the providers, and I don't need to do that anymore, right? Because, and all of this juggling back and forth, view model and whatnot. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I can take that out. I can even take out the on save because I have the provider and I have the configuration. And the configuration knows how to do that stuff. Yeah. So if we do parameter, editor required, and then I can say public, Twitch chat, provider, right? Oh, come on. You know what this is. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. No. I want to pass the interface. Because I don't want, because if I put the Twitch chat provider in there, if this ever runs as WebAssembly, because this is in the Blazor client library, it would have to pass the Twitch library down. And actually, I don't need that, right? But I can do this as social media provider, like that. Right? So then back over here, I can say why you do this? Oh, what did I break? Ooh, I broke something good. Ooh, I broke something good. Oh, all of the parameters. Yeah, I gotta go fix that now. Yeah, this stuff right here. So instead, I can say provider configuration. Yeah. Stuff like that. Right, and basically wrap these. I'm surprised. I would have thought Copilot would have recommended something there. And that's coming back as a string, but that's a bool. So let's do bool parse. And on save isn't a thing I need to do anymore. Comment that. Rebuild. Configuration could go away, yeah. The name health does not exist. Up here on line 2, health. Sure. I can... No. Oh, look at that. I don't want to make that. Instead here, let's do health equals, not quite. Right, it's provider. I believe I called it get health, which means I need to make that async. I can do that. Come on. Oh. So this becomes a wait. Looking better. Or not. Parenthesis on line 52. There it goes. Oh, man. String was not recognized as a valid Boolean right there. So fine. If it is, then false. Now it says it's running. Hey, look! Not all the values are there. But that looks like it could be a thing. Hey! Hey!
What'd you do?
It works!
You can do it!
We can. I can't do anything with it. But it's working. Right? Like, and I would like to be able to do more with that, and yeah. It's not enabled. At least it doesn't think it's enabled, but it is. We know it is. And it, actually, it's pulling that out of the database. I don't have a gunner command. Check out the gunner link just below. We changed, they're updating their branding. They're doing some really cool stuff with gunner branding. So 404, these are gunner glasses, right? These are the Razor torpedoes that I'm wearing today. I really like these. The Cupertinos, they haven't done anything with my... I have a bunch of photos and video that I send over to them. But these are the ones that pop out the lenses. However, if you go up here to men's... where are they? Where are they? Ooh, that's cool. I have many of these. I have the Marin. I'm not wearing them right now. Where are they? This one's. So these are the standard torpedoes. I have the Razor torpedoes. So they're there. These ones. So these are right. I really like the 65% amber. So They work out nicely. They come with replacement arms that you can put on with it. You can replace it with a string, a lanyard that'll wrap around your neck so you don't have the arms pressing against the side of your head. So I like these so much that I have a prescription pair. But you see here, it does offer prescription. I have a prescription pair that also are transition lenses. So when you choose to go into prescription, well, now look at all the world of things you can do. You can make it the 98% amber if you want as a prescription lens. So I have these as bifocal progressive lenses. And I have them on, the ones that I have are 6590 amber transitions. Fantastic glasses. So, and they're a little bit more expensive once you start getting into prescription and doing fancy things with the lenses. But if you don't do the transitions and you just pick a single color, it's a little bit cheaper. So, that's great that it's loading and showing some of that content, but the enabled flag here isn't quite popping up properly. Let's take a look at if string is null or empty, otherwise we're going to bool parse it. Don't dox yourself, Fritz. You're welcome, 404. So if you use my link below, other than the latest glasses they just released, you can use my code and you'll get 15% off any glasses that you buy at the gunner store. The local container here, database, Postgres, this one over here. Look at it. These are stored procedures from ClipTalk. Still hanging out there. Can I just say close all? Do that. No. 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 Thank you. Tables. Notice I don't have any tables named Robert. Select top 1,000. There they are. So I do have, there should be a provider. Look at provider Blue Sky. That's a problem. Just Twitch out there. I thought it would have been provider-Twitch that it loaded. All right. I am going to move this to another part of my screen so that I can open this and look. Yeah, all the keys and values are in there, and it does have enabled set. So there's something about the value coming back that isn't quite right. Okay. I really want that to be called provider dash, but for right now, I'm okay with that. So let me put a breakpoint right there. Yeah. No, you know we can console write this a little bit faster, right? No. Console write line, man. So the reason that I think it's easier to do it there is because it'll pop up. Little Bobby drop tables. Robert Tables hangs out here. Watch what you're saying there, Dirtborn. He will find you. So if I do a hard refresh there, yeah, it's not getting a value for that. Interesting. Like, get configuration by key for Twitch. Oh, come on, type. Twitch chat configuration. Ah. Well, that solves it right there. No, don't need to, because there'll always be a value. Surprise me. Yeah. Hot reload succeeded. Enabled true. There it goes. And there it is. Nice. Nice. Okay. So we already had values saved into the database from the previous version of the application, and it found them, it loaded them, and it painted them on screen. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. You know why? Because
60% of the time, it works every time.
Can we do a little better than 60%? Can we do a little better than 60%? Docker. He's not showing up. I know if you say Docker a couple times, he does show up. But not this time. So, yeah. That's a thing. Do I know how to get the authenticated user in your Azure Function app? The token is being validated. Request data tells you the user is authenticated, but the identity, I need to see your code and where you're trying to get it. It's something that I know is very doable. With the identity capabilities in Azure Functions, I just haven't looked at it in almost a year. So I need to see some code and dive into it. Like, yeah, look at that. It even, right, there's the provider getting content from Twitch. And if I go up to moderation, there's the last comment from Mythin. And if I go to the waterfall, there's the last stuff that we approved and pushed up into the user interface. And actually, right? That looks right. Right? And clicking into one of these. Yeah. We're going to put in the configuration to specify the back of the card as part of this. Something happened in the hype train user interface got stuck there. There we go. So, oh my, indeed. That worked. Okay. So, like, let's put Mastodon in. Let's put Mastodon in while we're here, right? Like, that worked really, really nicely. Over here. Get status. And what was the comment? Somebody was saying, time for a commit? I think so, too. There was a comment about, well, you don't really need... right, I don't even need to pass in provider configuration because I could get it here. You're right. Right? And I still need to do the save. I need to wire that back up. We can do that. Right? I actually... Do I even need to make it available as a property? No. Right? I could say var provider configuration equals, right? Provider. No, you had it, but I don't want to do that. Just await that, John. Done. Why do you? So then down here I can do the other gimmick, and we're in good shape. Yeah, then I don't need to call the get in every user interface. I also, in the generic provider, And means I don't need that. Also means I don't need this. Unknown provider type. I can do that. And then here I can say switch. Do I do a get type? I really want to do. Yeah, I think I need to do a get type here. And then I do something like this. Oh. Right? Why don't you like that? Constant value. Fine. If I do that, you're not going to let me do name of either. Oh, it did! Nope. Unknown provider configuration type. That's not the right. Did I not save something? No, I did. Everything's saved. You need to rebuild. You're kind of out of sync here. You found a development board with 1.3-inch round touchscreen. Oh! You want to make it into a disc golf tracker. Oh, that sounds neat. That sounds very cool. Okay. Yeah. I don't want to do full name. Well, wait a sec. Do that. Twitch chat provider, right? Oh. Got it. There it is. Less than 30 bucks? It's amazing how inexpensive little IoT things are. Probably because we're going to end up investing so much of our time to build it into something, right? And it's just the base stuff. The Raspberry Pi Zeros are inexpensive, but when you start layering things in with it, then it gets expensive. Small touchscreen that can handle lithium batteries. Oh, very cool. Oh, very cool. Okay, so I need to go back over here and I need to fix the save operation here. So instead of doing this args add, right? Like, I should be able to, let's do this. Do that. Right, then I can do this. Thank you. Right. Set configuration by key. Yeah, keep doing that. Come on. Yeah, that's right. Do it again. You're going to make me type this. There we go. Keep going. No. Thank you. Keep going. Yeah. Now you're feeling it. Is that all of them? Chatbot name, OL token, channel name enabled. Yeah. No. And then instead of doing something like that, I should be able to say, right? There's, I forget, is it like save or write or something? No. What is it to do the actual save? Set. I can't remember. I can't remember to do the save. Alt period? Is that... I don't think save can... Yeah, that's not a thing. DGen1 with a question. Did the St. Jude Raspberry Pi Classroom thing go? They have the devices. I've been trying to get an update from them. I haven't heard anything yet. But I am planning to talk to them before we get into March. There's a bunch of St. Jude events coming up there. It cycles them? Nah, I don't say give me any other suggestions. But I'm forgetting what the save operation is. What is it? Configuration... No, configure tags app, right? Create, set configuration provider, sure. Right, and that returns an iConfigure tags app thing gimmick here. Set configuration by ID. So, show me some of the places that is. Yeah. Where else do I do that? First start configuration. This one. There's a save configuration. Yeah. On the provider itself. So, provider, save configuration. You were right there. Thank you. That alt space. That was the gimmick there. Because it took it down and hit it. Save all that. Completed Twitch chat configuration. Nice. Next one. Helping people spend money is your favorite pastime? Oh. Okay. So now I need one for Mastodon. So that should be easy, right? I put it right there. So now if I add Razor component, right? So if we do Mastodon config UI Razor, ta-da. And we could probably copy a bit of this. I'm just going to copy the first couple items there. Even though they don't really belong. You know? Ba, ba, ba. That's right. Sure. We're going to have a view model too. So we're going to put all of our configuration stuff for validation in here. I don't know what this is. Right, but we'll put something like there, like that. We'll want some using statements. Yep, for that gimmick. Oh, I do have it up there. Yeah. All right, so let's go to the Mastodon provider. Mastodon configuration. It has enabled. Base address, timeout, default headers, and HTTP 2. Because it's HTTP clients. All right. Fine. Right. Oh, timeout is... This is going to be a time span. going to be interesting to see what we do with that. Default headers. Oh, this is a series of headers here. That's going to be ugly. Because in the headers is where we put things like the bearer tokens. Use HTTP 2. Sure. And that'll default to not user. And enable. We can't really require it because it's just it's a true false value, right? Chatbot name is, but we need to do default headers. Okay. So what else have we learned here? This one. Okay, so we do have in on parameter set async. Right, we're gonna do something like this. That's gonna get me in, and these things it doesn't know about yet. And that's not the right view model. And it's choked. Timeout. Use HTTP 2 and enabled. And I'm doing this strictly to prevent the need to pass these objects back and forth. Hour 15 of pair programming. You need to lie down after that one. Oh boy, that's a lot. Not gonna lie, that's a lot. Yeah, take a load off on that one. Ooh. String is, it's not working. If it is null or empty, false. Otherwise, bool parse that value, and we're done. And now we need some user interface. So, and there's a request for some localization. These things are going to need to be localized. So I'm going to take this and put it over here. One of these. Base address of Mastodon server. And this will be base address as well. Hey, James, good to see you. Let's see. Did that pick up? It's not in the generic provider yet. Oh, watch this. Right? Mastodon provider. You don't know who that is yet. Where is it? Add project reference. Yeah. Mastodon. Is it going to discover it and load it? I think so. Right, now it knows what that is. What do you mean you don't? Surprise. Mastodon configuration is less accessible. Really? Yeah, it is. What else? Not anymore. In generic provider, now it knows what that is, so now I can say, why don't you like that? Yeah, I think you know what that is. I think you know what that is. Oh my gosh! Save config doesn't exist. Holy crumbs! Nice. Let's double check. It should be loading that. No. I started hard coding and pulling out the right where it was. Right down in here. Right, where is it? This is used. Yeah, over there. Add tags app providers. Start Twitch chat. Start Mastodon. Yeah, that's a thing. You know what that is. You know what that is. It's got to restart, though. Got to be in the right one there. Maybe not. Cannot implicitly convert type string to time span on 39. That's the code that we had it generate. 62. What is that? That goes away. This needs to be a provider. Hey, how you doing there? Yeah, I did. Yeah, you're right. I did type some gibberish there. Getting that cleaned up. You're right. Right, provider is right there. Where is it in the Twitch chat? One. Like, that's the exact same line in both of these. Cannot implicitly convert type string to time span 39. There. You're right. Try that. Type or namespace name Mastodon does not exist in namespace tags app providers. Service providers. Yes, it does. Got a .NET clean that. No, not clear. Clean. Hey, Jesus. Glad I made it through. Yeah, we talked to our friend Fierce Kittens a little bit ago. And the layoffs are a little bit close to her side of the company. So I'm sure she's going to be looking to make sure that she still has some friends there, that she has some friends that weren't impacted. So, let me see. Service providers, line 1, but yeah, it knows what that is. I just added the thing. Yeah, there it is. Blazor DLL. Come on. There we go. So if I go back over admin, providers. Oh, right. Because I just copied over. Right, it probably says Twitch chat in the middle of here. Yeah, right there. And I should change this to Mastodon. Ta-da! And now it says nothing in there. It doesn't want to open. Probably because why? Oh, that one opens. This one does not. Why not? Let's see, what did it render for me? Why don't you like this? Here. Provider accordion, blah, blah, blah. Heading Mastodon. Target, hashtag Twitch chat, target, hashtag Mastodon. Yeah. Oh, well, that's not going to work. Oh, well, that's not going to work. Let's see. Yep, it's right there. And it's also right there. So that one opens. That one opens. Yay! It works! Woohoo! There we go. We've made it better. We've made it stronger. We've made it more generic. So now, if I go over to moderation, I should start to see some Mastodon content in here too. Or not. There it is. There's one. So we got some Mastodon content coming through. That's what I'm talking about. Boom. Look at that. Got the generics happening, doing the thing. I'm feeling good about that, but I'm also seeing... Yes. I'm also seeing... Right, so I have that form, and then it calls submit over there. What did I miss? I don't know who you are. But this save operation, like, this is completely interfaces being called. This is an interface being called. Maybe. Let me catch up here on some chat. James says, so I thought of another important feature in Rider. I like global search allows you to see the files in the search dialog and click the files to view it in an editor in the same dialog. So I do Control-T for that. Right, so I can search for, and there's the file and the type, and I can jump right to it. Right? But not just, right, that file. Right, I can go to, like, right, a method name, and it will go find that method. Now, these are in generated code that the feedback I've provided is they need to go away. I never want to edit generated code, right? But I could go to right on save. Save configuration, right? And there's those methods in the various classes that they're declared, and I can jump right into that file, right? So I get why you like that feature. It's a pretty good feature. Oh, that's a shame, War and Peace. Is there a way to set autosave in Visual Studio and modifying files? Yes. So autosave, right? If you type it correctly, it'll jump right into it. Save document, automatically save files when Visual Studio is in the background. I thought there was a... No. I thought there was a time that you could set up that stuff, and it would automatically save, but I do not see it. I thought there was an autosave in Visual Studio. There is in VS Code, but... let me see here. Catching up. You looked at Outlook sub-processes, saw a lot of web views. Sure, because that's how it presents the mail messages and whatnot, right? It's rendering it as a web view. Is the industry moving towards a hybrid approach that includes web viewers in their application? Yes. The industry very much is, because folks like to be able to manage and work with the rich content that HTML provides. So why reinvent an HTML renderer or your own renderer when the world has kind of agreed to HTML? Even Markdown, right, is a super language on top of HTML, right? You write Markdown and it gets compiled into HTML. So, yeah, right, it's an easy, convenient way that, and we've got hundreds of languages and tools that help us generate HTML, like Razor and Blazor and so on and so forth. So, yeah. Relief is on the way. Good luck to you, 404. You got knockoffs from Amazon? Yeah, and make you DJ, play some Pet Shop Boys. The 404, they send me a bunch of glasses because I wear them on stream. I talk about them and whatnot. I'm happy to be a influencer for Gunner. They don't pay me to talk about the product for them. They send me glasses. I enjoy the product. I wear the product because I enjoy the product first and foremost. I get a little bit of a referral fee when folks use my code. It's a great way for you to support my channel while getting a great product that I think folks will enjoy. So, the successful developer dance routine. Control T was a very nice. Yeah, you're right, Perry. Control T. Control T opens up this universal search, and Control Q gets you into the feature search. And ReSharper had that for a while as well. So, auto recover, is that? Yeah, here you go. So it'll save auto recover information. So if you are in a hot reload scenario, it doesn't save and trigger a rebuild, but it puts a backup copy out there. So it does save. So there is, right, when you compile. Yeah, I was right. Compile. That. Come here, you. Let's go tools, options. Right, there's like a save and build. On build started projects, always build on run. There is a thing that says save when you build. I don't say it, but yeah, right. If right, I just hit save, right, and I say build, it starts. It saves the file for me. You can barely see it there, right over my head. So, okay. So that was pretty good that we got Mastodons in so easily. I'll have to migrate in the other providers, but just getting those two in and finding and presenting content is a big step. Let me save the Mastodon feature. I didn't finish the time span and the default headers UI, both of which I think are going to be a pretty standard thing. Crap. Right, I only put base address on there. I didn't put the other fields. Timeout, HTTP2, and enabled. I didn't even put enabled on there. What am I thinking? Use HTTP2. Go to the end. Oh, there's that heartbeat stuff that I was working on. We're going to have to fight with that. There's use HTTP2 and enabled. Now, why didn't they... Right, they're lined up nicely over there. Oh, wait, I put them in... Yeah, I put them in one of these. You're going away. We're moving you. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give away what's coming in the next Blazor puzzle. But I ran into some scenarios with CSS that, yeah, I think we're going to, you're going to see in the next Blazor puzzle podcast. Providers. So this is inside of article. Let's call this provider. Sure, that works. Provider accordion. Hey, look. And I can do that. And now everything looks nice. Yeah, look at that. Cool. All right, so I still need to do... Ooh. Right, didn't it? Now it... Is that the weird CSS? Control T is not really the same. Seems more like find in files. Need to open a separate window to do that in Writer. As I start typing, it starts searching and giving feedback. That didn't... No. No. It's like the CSS I saved didn't... Hash provider accordion. Come here. And now back over here. No. There, that worked. Yeah. I bet you I don't have this handling enabled. Ta-da! I don't. Oh, yeah? It's also right there. Oh, come on. Thank you. There it is. It just appeared. Hey, Schmalky. Schmikey in Berlin. Good to see you. Okay, so I got the providers lined up better. I still need to put in a time span user interface for the timeout. So what's that going to look like? I don't know. Let's put the thing over here. Not really going to have one of those. Can I do type? And can I do time? Oh, wait. Can I convert time span to string? Ooh. Okay. Hang on. This should be timeouts. Can I convert lambda expression to delegate type? Oh, it's because I did that. All right, what other input types do we have? Input date. Can we do input date? And then, will that figure that out? No. How am I doing? I'm doing well. I think we're moving along quite nicely here. Similar to the Windows search bar, Bing, Google, where you start typing and it starts searching. Yeah, so, right, I start typing things here, right, and it starts searching, right? And now it takes me into not just the file to open, but also the constructors and other places that it references that type. So, hey, Aristos, hello. Can I suggest a book for C# beginners? No, because I don't believe that books keep up with the latest C# capabilities. Printed books. C# evolves once a year. So if you were to buy a book, it's no longer good in November because there's a new version of C#. There's a bunch of ebooks available from Microsoft. There's a bunch of training material available from learn.net/learn. And we're building out a video series that's going to have an ebook attached to it called C# in the Cards for folks that are new to C#. That's slowly building with little 10-minute lessons each week. So that's moving along. Yeah, there you go. Perry's got the link that I was thinking of. So, this is not binding the way that I want it to. If I just make this input type equals, can I just put time? And then I do bind. If I do this as a string instead of a time span, Wait a minute. Can I convert from string to date time on line 15? Right there. It wants a date time. Okay, so if I make that a date time, which it isn't. But hey, whatever. Okay. That's a time. What can I do on the format of that? Like, I want it to be a time span. Not necessarily a time. If I just do it like that, yeah, now I get it as a date. Changes back to a time span. Right. You make me so sad. How you doing there, Amir Kataru? Welcome. Okay, and yeah, I think I need to. I'm just gonna leave it as a text block for right now, and we'll clean it up and make it better later. I've got bigger boulders to move here. How you doing, Speedy? Good to see you. Do I know anything about GitHub Copilot feature to be able to look at GitHub issues and change code to solve those issues presented? Not off the top of my head, but there were a bunch of new GitHub Copilot features released yesterday that I have to go through and learn. There are features like generate a commit message for me that are in Visual Studio now that sound really cool. So I would point in that direction. Default headers is a dictionary of string. So it's a JSON block. Yeah. So how did we do this in the previous UI? Like, is there some code that I can get and work with? Oh, there is a pattern. Let's do that. Hang on. Right? That helps with that. Sure. Right? Yeah. What else? Check boxes, okay. Get custom attribute from the input type attribute of that property. So, no. Somewhere it turns it into a dictionary and then figures out what to do with that. No. Jeez. You know what? I'm running out of time. And I don't see how it was doing the default headers here. No, it's not even referenced there. So no, that's the wrong one. Still the wrong one. Too many files. So if I were to do default headers, it... Hey, Jean Valjean. Hello. The comment functionality is good. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet. Default headers. And in here, there's like this list of headers where it's going to be name value, right? Key value list that we're going to output here. Right, and I'm public. It's a dictionary of string. And in those other places where I reference it, ugh. No. My typing is just awful. I want somebody to type for me. Set configuration by key. And if it's default headers, it deserializes those. If it's looking for JSON coming back, and then it's going to turn it back into. Okay. So I need to do a JSON serialize. Right. Hey, Sean.
Sean underscore the underscore sheep underscore bar underscore Muchia 20.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I can just set that. And it'll handle... So... When it does a get configuration... When it does a get configuration by key of the headers, it returns a string that is the JSON of that. Yes, I have seen what Code Rushed is doing. I need to get it back, but I'm working generically through this. I'm going to have to serialize, deserialize, but I don't really care about the performance of this. I don't. Like, what is that? Right, that returns... Really? You're not going to go to it. Get configuration by key. Yes. Thank you. I do need to run meetings, but can I just hammer this out real quick? Can I do that? I can't to dictionary, but what I can do is I can deserialize the headers. HTTP client options. So if I go back over here, am I going to be able to do that? Deserialize headers. That? Are we good with that? Do you know what that is? Doesn't know what that is. Let me close this and reopen it. Just to kind of jostle the user interface. Get it to re-recognize some of that stuff. Yeah. Can you give me a using statement? I'd really like a using statement. Do you know what that is? I bet it doesn't. Bet it doesn't. All right, fine. I'm just going to hard code it. And you're going to like me for it. And give me system text JSON. Yeah. Right? Look at that. It's doing a thing. Not doing a thing. Okay. So if we do this up here and we say var headers equals that, right? Header dictionary. Yeah. But if string is null or empty, right? Headers. New. Otherwise, give me one of those. So then here I can say header dictionary. Don't have a user interface for it yet, but yeah. That's not a thing yet because I didn't finish building it. Because, you know, there's a thing to go here. Right? And yeah, there's a thing to go here. That's going to be a thing. Had an ordeal. How you doing, Miki? Using Blazor for a new app, using Fluent UI. It's been tough trying to style Fluent UI. Its core CSS kept taking priority, so you couldn't customize it. I'm not familiar with it, with Fluent UI. Copilot chat is right. Just alt//. Why are you doing this to me? Where'd it go? No. Copilot chat. Says it's running. I guess I don't have access to it anymore. I am in a preview, so it might have been removed. Alt-Enter brings up the chat window. No, I'm not getting that either. It's possible they removed me from the preview. Probably. Turns out it was disabled. Yeah, I think it's broken. It sure feels like it's broken. Right, so Copilot chat. It's installed. There's nothing to update. So, I don't know. My guess is it's broken. Because it was working. I'm going to spit in the dark here. Generate a set of text boxes to collect values for the default headers dictionary in view model. Dude. That's really good. We can't two-way bind those values. So if I just take this to... Stop it. And if I do that, it's not going to... Okay, maybe it will. No. Ooh. Hey, Ergenrod.
Ergonrod just resubscribed for 28 months.
Couldn't find a way to get styles referenced in head in app Blazor to take priority? Yeah, you should be able to... That should be doable. That name should be something like default header key and then header key. Same thing here. Default header value header key. Yeah, it's this binding here doesn't like. That's this is an interesting little problem that I think we're going to turn into a component. It doesn't quite work. What the? Let me, however, let me commit. What? Let me commit what I got here. There we go. Started on Mastodon config because I do need to wrap up. Let me, like, I'm pretty sure I know what I want to do with this. And yeah, we're frozen in the wrong color scheme up here. I'm going to push that out. It's not going to... It's going to build, but it isn't going to run. But this area right here, I want to turn this into a component that manages and creates and takes care of the objects and content for a dictionary. So that I can have a dictionary of type string, and it creates two sets of text boxes next to each other with a key and a value with a plus button at the end so you can add new rows to that, and it adds new values into the dictionary and passes the dictionary properly back and forth. Let me catch up on chat here as we wrap up. As we call it a day here. Talk about CSS for Fluent UI. Is there an alternative to ASP append version tag helper for Blazor? Why? A good way to convert Markdown to a PDF, check out Iron PDF. It is a for-pay component. However, it's really good. So you can do Markdown to HTML to PDF all in 2 steps. Markdig to HTML, and then inside Iron PDF, HTML to PDF. And I have worked with Iron PDF in the past. So, yeah, Iron PDF's pretty good. So, is there an alternative? To do cache busting. That's what the append version tag. Oh, you're looking for the Blazor version of append version. Isn't there something that does that? To do cache busting. No. Yeah, there's a add file version to path, but that's ugly. It's been marked as completed over here on GitHub. To do ASP append version equals true. It looks like that same feature works. Oh, wait. A proposed change won't work since it only affects style CSS file. Set the cache etag headers on the responses for the files. No, they didn't do anything with it. They turned that down. Yeah, cache busting for static files. Ugh. That is ugly. There's an answer for cache busting on Stack Overflow you can look at, but that feels like a miss. Especially as we talk about static server rendered SSR content. Finishing off here. Not familiar with Blazor. Yeah, cache busting should be something that's available, at least in the SSR capabilities. So, if it was .NET 8, what? Yeah. The cross-up you mentioned earlier for use HTTP enabled is in the set configuration by key. What did I do? Set configuration by key for Mastodon. Use HTTP to... Oh! Yep, I see it there. Found it. Good catch. Wow. That would have been an ugly bug to track down. My gosh. But I do need to call it a day. You're tempted to load up an old version of Blazor to see if that has the same issue. It will. It will. Thank you so much for tuning in. I do need to get going. Those of you that are watching on YouTube, there's lots of great more videos for you on YouTube. On Twitch, however, let me see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network that I can get you connected to. Somebody mentioned Code Rushed earlier. Let's go visit him. Our friend Mark Miller. Here's the raid call. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back next week. I have some travel to do this weekend. I will be back next week. Look for me on Tuesday, streaming right here on YouTube, on Twitch. And I'm going to try and get another episode of C# in the cards out before end of business Friday. All right? Have a fantastic rest of your day. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.